Okay, so this is going to be a very important article. It was published 6 hours ago, updated 3 hours ago. Shut this off. This is very important to know this shit, because this shit is not only happening in Florida, it's happening in everywhere. Across the states, is just Florida got the most, whatchamacallit. Whatever. Okay. This is a tweet that a targeted individual posted. Pasco was the bellwether for the gang stalking program or cyber torture program or targeted individuals. It's really the same program that's used against in cyber torture. Okay. The Justice Department to review new Pasco intelligence effort. Like I said, it's not only happening in Tampa, Florida. It's happening here in San Jose. It's happening here in Michigan. It's happening, like everywhere. It's happening in New York. It's happening in Arizona. It's happening in Texas. But it's also happening globally around the world. There's these surveillance programs. It's just that other countries have adopted their types. But it all leads to biomedical human trial. It all leads to human trafficking, covert technologies. There is a software called Pegasus, and it was invented by someone in Israel, and a lot of countries use it to track down supposedly terrorists. But then again, an article came out that they're using it against activists and people who don't agree with the government. But let's go on to this. Pasco Sheriff Chris Nocco told the Justice Department that his agency was confused by a federal probe in its new intelligence effort. This is by Natalie Weber. Sounds familiar. All right, let's go into it. The U.S. Department of Justice is conducting an intensive review of the Pasco Sheriff's Office. This has been happening since 2018, maybe even before that. Remember, guys, the residents of Pasco County are suing their sheriff's department in Pasco County. So it took a pretty long time. It's 2021 now. Let's go back. Pasco Sheriff's Office latest intelligence program, which is called, guess what the software is called, the program, all weird, federal officials said this week. The Justice Department sent a letter to Sheriff's Office on August 6th, 2 weeks after the Tampa Bay Times reported the sheriffs had promised increased police scrutiny for people whose criminal histories included violent crimes and drug offenses. The Justice Department's letter raised concerns about the methodology used to identify targets, communications with the community, and insufficient coordination with relevant law enforcement agencies. This is insufficient coordination with relevant law enforcement agencies. Oh, okay, shit. Oh, wait, actually, this is the letter. We should go into the letter. I'll probably put this on YouTube because I know it will be out long. There is the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, the Bureau of Justice Assistance. There's the thing right there. And we are on TampaBay.com, so I'm pretty sure all of this shit is legit. Okay, on August 6, 2001, Sheriff Chris Nocco, Pasco County Sheriff Office, 8700 Citizens Drive, Newport Richey, Florida. Dear, this is the U.S. Department of Justice, sent a via email to Chris Nocco. Dear Sheriff Nocco, I'm writing to you to reference of the Bureau of Justice Systems grant award to Pasco County Sheriff Office under our Smart Policing Initiative. Grant number 2018, whatever that means, WYBX 00004, or this grant award. I'm writing through, okay. The BGA's Smart Police Initiative is designed to support unbiased policing while promoting public safety. If you are a targeted individual and you know what it's like to be targeted, if you're a cyber torture victim, There's going to be organized covert harassment. There is no public safety. Even the perps, people who participate in this program, to violate someone's human rights, whether it's with mind control, whether it's with directed energy weapons, or just the psychological tactics that they do on them. There are severe consequences when you do take part in this program. If you're going against target individuals, there are times that you will just forget it. Your life is so. I know your life is probably worse than what we think. You're joined into in a illegal operation with people who work in the government. Not all of the government is part of it, but you could get yourself hurt into this, and the target can get yourself hurt. But imagine you just being on the wrong side, the demonic side. You could get hurt and your family severely brought back. We're not just talking about prison. We're not just talking about stupid shit. But gang stalkers who do partake in this, they get into car accidents as they're told to do stupid shit with their cars to cause accidents. So death is one of them. Car accidents, they could get sued. A lot of shit. If the person who's chose to go forward with suing, which is really hard because sometimes the judge, whatever, will just go away. For public safety reasons, there is no public safety if you're doing this. This is actually a very big hole in public safety if these programs are still going. With overreacting goal of building trust between law enforcement and the community. I'm sorry for you. There's no more trust no more. There's no more trust with target individuals in the police. There's no more. SPI provides resources, training, and technical assistance to law enforcement agencies that enable to address the most pressing crime problems with institute lasting cultural and organizational changes that foster reliance on effective and the use of evidence-based practices, data, and technology. Agencies that receive the SPI, I don't know what the SPI is, the Special Policing fundings are expected to engage members of the communities as allies and reduce violence, does the opposite, and the people in Pasco County will tell you that. Ensure transparency, there's never any transparency, in their crime reduction approaches whenever feasible, and establish an innovative and effective working relationships with citizens and community leaders. So if you want to say that citizens are not, if you're a gypsy, if you're a non-gypsy, and you really think that citizens are not working with police, you think citizens are not working with military contractors, this is actually showing you. It doesn't say about the military thing, it doesn't say the government thing, but it shows you that they work with police officers, which in Pasco County, police officers are abusing people's rights when there is no legit reason. Where was that? Community leader and support to gain support for the proposed police initiative. Trust and building trust is the core of the SPI funding. The PCOSO recently circulated an attached letter to individuals regarding PCO's run program, the PCO's program, which claimed to be cooperation with the Department of Justice. So this is coming out of the Department of Justice. Strategies for Police Innovation Initiative. However, the letter does not adequately depict the dedicated training and technical resources under the SPI provided by the department, nor does it adequately describe the requirements for greater community engagement required for SPI success. Now, he's saying that how we want you to run our program, this is coming out of the Department of Justice, saying that you are not doing it the way how it ought to be run. We also have concerns regarding the methodology used to identify individuals for inclusion in the PSO program, the name of the program, communications about the program, the lack of involvement and communication with greater community about the program. This is 100% true. People cannot really find out how this really is going on. So insufficient coordination with relevant law enforcement stakeholder groups The shortcomings have unfortunate consequences of eroding trust in the community rather than building trust. What was I at? Given this and given the goals of SPI, BGA will undertake immediate assessment of the activities funded under the grant award. As assessments begins, PCSO should immediately pause its activities under the award so the BGA can work with PCSO to provide intensive review of several aspects of the program. Convene a working group of all relevant, and it's actually calling it a program. Would you look at that? So, target individuals, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. Cyber torture victims, whatever you want to call yourself, depending on what you're being targeted for, you're not crazy. This letter shows you. This is from the Department of Justice. Convene a working group of all relevant community leaders, federal law enforcement partners, and social service organizations to ensure. So when target individuals talks about law enforcement, social services, saying that they're being withheld from their benefits and shit like that, it kind of sounds like all of the branches of government is involved, because that's how they built the system for these surveillance programs, for these stuff like that. So target individuals, you're not insane. This is really actually happening. Okay, I forgot where it was at. Shit. Okay, convene a working group of relevant community leaders, federal law enforcement partners, and social service organizations to ensure roles, responsibilities, communication within the community are clear and transparent, which they're never, and reflective of best practices and focus deterrence program. The law enforcement partners should include all activities might play a role in holding individuals accountable for violent activity, to include the State's Attorney's Office, the United States Attorney's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, Department of Homeland Security. These are the people that's supposed to get answers. They're supposed to get answers. Communicating with the FBI, Department of Homeland Security, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms. I don't know why the Bureau of Alcohol, and Explosives and Drug Enforcement Administration. Yeah. So to say that it's not all of the people within these agencies are involved, but there is to say that they don't know is absolutely bullshit. But I mean, these are probably rogue governments, people who are not going what the Justice Department is saying, the communication, the transparency, the protocols for this program. Provide a specialized training and technical assistance review team to review data used any SPI program to ensure the program is unbiased. That means they're not using it in a way that it shouldn't, like one-sided, or I guess, and reflect current standards of transparency and data integrity. Ensure the community is active partner in the So ensure that the community, I think it's the community, the part of people take part of it, and provide mechanisms to share and receive feedback, participation from the community in the initiative. If they would have used this tool, this program surveillance tool, the way that it's supposed to be running, or maybe it's not supposed to be running the way that they claim it should be running for them, because this is human trafficking, you wouldn't have no drug dealers, you would have no human traffickers, you would not have any type of crime. But, somebody's got to make money somehow. Crime makes people money. Ensure the community is an active partner in the PCSO and provide mechanisms to share and receive feedback, participation from the community in initiative. Such assistance will include the corporations of previously provided guidance on effective communication with the public on this issue. Develop a new strategy for engaging with an individual and participating in the PSO program. This should include a written notification to any recipient of the attached letter. The attached letter is effectively withdrawn. The written notification should also include revised engagement strategy with individuals who receive the letter. Develop evaluation measures to ensure that the PCO program does not undermine the trust between the community and law enforcement. Ensure the programs does not result in discrimination of any kind. Look at the Justice Department calling it a program. Justice Department, okay, who's more? Because they're kind of siding with targeted individuals right now because they're calling it a program. Because look at the people who are involved. You got the Drug Administration, the Drug Enforcement Administration. You got security, which we talk about, the FBI, which we talk about, and other things as well. PCO's continued access to grant award funding is contingent on PCO's fully adopting and implementing these proposed actions. Kate McNamee and the BGA Senior Policy Advisor with oversight on the SPI will manage the supplement assistance to your SPI team. Ensure that, as you are aware, special conditions number 28 on the award, to which PCO agreed as a condition accepting BGA funds, reads the recipient agrees to cooperate with any assessments, including but not limited to the provision of information required for the assessment and evaluation for any activities within this project. The project successfully implemented in accordance with the Department of Justice expectations and requirements. The Department of Justice committed advancing work would promote civil rights, increase access to justice, support crime victims, protect the public from crime, and involving threats and saving lives. And no build trust between law enforcement and community. This program can support the work and save lives. It is sincere hope that BGA can continue to support PSO, Pasco County Sheriff's Office, to reduce the violence and strengthen partnerships in your community. Thank you for your action to this matter. We look forward to working with you. Sincerely, Kristen Mahoney, Acting BGA Director. Okay, so that was the letter that was sent to Nocco's office. These shortcomings have unfortunate consequences of eroding trust in the community rather than building trust, the letter said. Maybe this is why they don't want, because some targeted individuals, cyber torture victims, have been making phone calls to the Department of Justice, to police, and they're just mocked for telling their stories that they know, that they really do know that this is actually going on, just to gaslight them. Maybe this is why they don't want us to go. They don't want targeted individuals to go and report this. So it makes a lot of sense. It took 3 years. The Justice Department, which gave Sheriff's Office $700,000 to grant to help fund the program in 2018, directed the agency to immediately pause its activities. It's probably going on way before that. They probably had some type of this program, just not as advanced technology as was first, because gang stalking has been happening for years. And one of the major states for it is California, Texas, Florida, the bigger major states that have a lot of people, that have a lot of population. Funded the program in 2008, directed the agency to immediately pause its activities under this award so it can review the program. I highly doubt that they will pause this. I mean, they will keep going. It is said it would work with the Sheriff's Office to convene a group of community leaders, citizens, federal law enforcement agencies, social service organizations to ensure best practices are followed. But they need to investigate who's these community leaders. They need to investigate who's involved. If they investigate, they will find insurance fraud, life insurance fraud. They'll find human trafficking, drug trafficking. I'm telling you, you will find it. They'll find so much illegal shit. And these are the informants. These are the informants. I mean, that I did an article on, saying that someone leaked out names, birth dates, social security numbers of targeted Americans in America who are on a watch list, and their informants were also written there also. And a targeted, I do know someone. I do know a targeted individual who says in their neighborhood that they're taking part of this crime, that she could prove it. And he was, whatever. I'm just gonna stop there. Too much information. Agency social service organizations to ensure best practices are followed, provide a team to examine the data's program. In this statement to the Times on Wednesday, the Sheriff's Office said it had worked hand in hand with Justice Department experts on the program. Okay, this is 8/9/21. Is this something that you got responded to? Oh wait, this is Acting Director Mahani. Let's go into another letter. So all these letters just really mean something. If someone on YouTube can better explain it more, go ahead. I'm just putting this out for people who may be following me, who are targeted or not, which was the whole reason why I'm doing this. Okay, Chris Nocco, Sheriff Department, Office of Sheriff, whatever, teamwork, professionalism, service, bullshit. Sheriff Office, Pasco is the recipient of your correspondence dated. This is him sending it back. No, hold on. The Pasco Sheriff Office is a recipient of your correspondence dated August 6th regarding the Smart Police Initiative granted award in PSO in 2018. After careful review of the letter, we are confused as the origins of concerns and intentions expressed by the Bureau of Justice. Since over the last 2 years, PCO has been working hand in hand with the subject matter experts assigned by BGA to implement this grant. In fulfilling the conditions of the grant, PCO actively collaborates with the BGA-assigned SME, as well as the University of South Florida, and research partnership and follows all guidance directives they provide. The written feedback provided by these SMEs include phrases such as excellent job and the messaging were delivered well, and refers to a fantastic partnership PSO established with the SPI project. Yeah, for the reasons unknown in PSO, your letter directly contradicts the guidance we have been provided over the last 2 years. Numerous emails and monthly meetings with SMEs and USF researchers partners, as well as the BGA's own guidance regarding focus deterrence, demonstrate PSO has appropriately implemented this program, which seeks to reduce victimization, which is bullshit. There are so many. For 3 years, their own people is suing them. As it relates to violent crimes and narcotic-related opioids. However, contrary to the guidance and approval, you stated in a letter that circulated by the PSO regarding a PSO-run program in cooperation with Department of Justice Strategies for Innovation Initiative did not adequately depict the dedicated and training technical researchers on the SPI, nor does it adequately describe the requirements for even greater community engagement. Contrary to the assertion, reference letter was created in direct consultation with SMEs assigned to the BGA grant. In fact, the letter distributed by PSO was approved by BGA-assigned SMEs. These SMEs provided with PSO with documents as guideline drafting letter and associated video script. For example, strategies for policing innovation, problem-oriented guidelines for police response, was centered on focused deterrence of high-risk individuals, including as part of 3 notifications suggested wording for the notification letters, such as detachment. Your persistent and serious offending has called you special attention. The government and the community insist that you stop your offending because it's hurting people and the community. If you're willing to stop, you will be provided with necessary assistance to create a successful law-abiding lifestyle for yourself and your family. If you're not willing to stop, you and your criminal subjects will be subject to all available enforcement means to compel you to stop. The PSO relied on expertise and feedback in creating a letter and is consistent with best practices identified by the SPI. Another focused deterrence program funded by BGA, so it's a deterrent program. It is also similar to letters currently being distributed by several other cities through the county that have implemented a focused deterrent policing strategy. For example, High Point, North Carolina uses a comparable letter, include all attachment to a template is highlight in the COPS National Network for Safe Communities and Notifications. Individualized Communications in a Group Violence Intervention by David Kennedy and Michael A. Frederick included as attachment 3. Through our consultation with SMEs and USF partners, PSO also recognized the importance of delivering a message in person with the letter and video to ensure consistency with fidelity in the program implications. This video was also part attempting to find innovative ways to implement the program during the COVID-19, when in-person messaging opportunities were limited. To this end, PSO utilized agency members who are specifically trained to handle behavioral health, because behavioral health is part of this demonic program, and substance abuse issues, have an intimate knowledge of the available community service, who have a passion and skill set for connecting citizens most in need with wraparound services. So they're saying bad people. What they do is they harass a victim, make them look crazy, to a certain point where they just blow up, and then they get mental institutionalized or something bad happens. And they'll call them, well, we've been doing this and this to him, and we finally got him. Finally got a legal way to say that he's crazy. Okay, I don't know how that happened. Okay, I have to go all the way back. Shit. Well, that was part of it. Do I have to sign? Let's go back. Okay, I gotta go back now. For some reason I can't screen. I can't go down or up. This is where it gets serious. This is how targeted individuals get targeted. When it comes about the children part, that's going to be very important for non-targets to know. Where did I go? There's a lot in this letter. That's another letter. I don't know if I read this letter, right? Did I read this letter? Oh, here it is. This is the one I was reading. Hold on. I lost. I'm sorry, guys. I lost everything. We continue to grow our partnership with academic research collaborators such as the USF and the coordination. Well, see how targeted individuals talk about universities are involved? Well, here you go. Universities actually are being hacked into targets' computer, into their network, so that kind of makes sense that now they're working with universities. And the coordination of surges in the community with our new re-entry unit in the Pasco detention center. We will continue to increase our shared effectiveness with continuum of care, support, and services for individuals transitioning back to the community who make this choice to change their lives, to demonstrate the effectiveness of the program as of the date to letter. And there are 35 detained individuals who are narcotics and violent repeat offenders. The following surges were requested by these individuals. This is what they fucking do, though. This is so weird. They use, the employment, I don't know. The mental health, that's one of the things. You see how that's the most? Substance abuse, housing, financial, educational. One individual successfully completed his GED while incarcerated. One individual did not pass the tape test to the eligible the GED classes. These are just whatever. It's just to show that whatever that they're doing, these victims that they tortured or whatever harassed, they're getting help. Additional resources have been provided based on individual requests. 12 of the 13 currently incarcerated narcotics and violent repeat offenders have declined services. Additionally, there are 11 eligible who are not currently incarcerated, and 6 of them have accepted services. With respect to the concerns raised in the correspondence regarding community engagement, the letter described by PSO described our agency commitment to the community and partner with Pasco County Human Resources the HUB model to ensure to access free and timely research available throughout the community. I mean, if you're gonna, whatever, the research includes social services, mental health, and addiction treatment, therapy, education, more to address. This is kind of like something that the perps, that the people that they recruit would actually want, because a lot of them are drug addicts, a lot of them are broke, a lot of them need housing, a lot of them need mental health, and a lot of them are not educated. This is like the homeless people. These opportunities for a new pathway in life are made available through community partnerships with look at that, with Bay Care Behavioral Health, University of South Florida, BCO's Behavioral Health Intervention Team, and more. So they're basically helping these people, saying with the good that they're doing instead of with the wrong that they're doing. Okay, your correspondents also mentioned your concerns regarding the methodology used to identify individuals for inclusion in the PSO program. The name of the program, communication about the program, the lack of involvement and communication with the greater community about the program, and the insufficient coordination with relevant law enforcement stakeholder groups. It is utmost important to note that the PSO program is blind to race, gender, religion, creed, or any identifying factors, and participate in determined solely by an individual's criminal history within Pasco County. PSO, who work closely with our research partners at the University of South Florida to ensure inclusion in the program, was entirely unbiased. Our program additionally allows removal of individuals if they don't reoffend within a 2-year period, and allows individuals to verify accuracy of selection. There's a lot of reading here. We'll get to that later probably. There's a lot of reading here. The sheriff also provided a copy of Sheriff Chris Nocco's response to the Justice Department, in which he had said his agency had to follow Justice Department's guidance and receive positive feedback. Nocco wrote that the Sheriff's office was left confused as to the origins of the concerns and interventions expressed by the Bureau of Justice, and blamed an exaggerated and inaccurate local media report. It's fucking narcissism, that's what they are. Narcissism. They don't give a shit. So he's basically gaslighting the Justice Department right now. Last year, a Times investigation found that Pasco Agency Intelligence Arm had targeted people considered likely to break the law in the future, sometimes making repeated visits to her house and without probable cause or a search warrant, and used school district data to profile kids. This is what non-targets need to know. Even if the kid didn't do nothing wrong, they just target innocent children. Most of the times, reporting was based on the agency's own manuals and reports. After the newsroom published its investigation, several civil liberties groups denounced the intelligence program and found Pasco residents with the backing of national public interest law firm after the newsroom published its investigation, several civil liberties groups denounced the intelligence program and found 4 Pasco residents with the backing of national public interest law firm filed a federal lawsuit alleging their constitutional rights has been violated. In addition, the urging of U.S. Congressman the Federal of the Education opened an investigation to the data sharing between Pasco's school district. One of the things that you'll find out in the targeted community, if you're trying to gather evidence, real factual evidence, not insinuating shit. Schools are involved in your community, which is really disgusting. And if you're a gypsy reading this, if you're a non-gypsy reading this, I'm going to tell you, 2005, when I was at school, there was a lot of, and maybe because I'm just gypsy, there was a lot of racism, and there was a lot of pedophiles that were sub-teachers. So that gives you, there's more too on top of that. It's just that there are criminals in working schools, basically. Or maybe that was just me, I don't know. The Federal Department of Education opened an investigation to data sharing between the Pasco School and District and the Sheriff's Office. I don't think that's right to do for the school to work with the sheriff's office. I mean, unless the child is actually doing drugs in school, selling drugs in school, planning a murder, planning a shooting, yeah. But this is like a regular thing with them. The district and the sheriff's office later announced that they would be scaling back the number of law enforcement officers who have access to the data. Through critics have called for the sharing to be halted entirely. The Times detailed the agency's latest intelligence effort focused on people who were previously arrested for violent crimes and drug offenses in late July. I guess these are people with violent crimes and drug offenses. As part of our initiative, the agency created a 4-page letter for those. The agency created a 4-page letter for those it targeted. You were selected as a result of evaluation of your recent criminal behavior using unbiased evidence-based risk assessment designed to identify prophylactic offenders in our community. The letter said, as a result of this designation, we will go to great efforts to encourage change in your life through enhanced support and increased accountability. The letter said the sheriff's office would connect recipients with the government agencies and nonprofit that could provide support, but it also said the sheriff's office would share their information with other law enforcement agencies to ensure the highest level of accountability for future crimes that they might commit. An alliance of groups known as People... Okay, here it is. This is what I've been waiting for. An alliance of groups known as People Against the Surveillance of Children and Over-Policing, or the Pasco Coalition, called the letter patronizing and offensive and said it threatened police harassment. These people are targeted individuals, and there are kids, 15, 16, who are getting targeted. They don't even know. Their parents don't even know. They're getting targeted too. They don't even know. They have no idea that this program exists. They have this no one wants to talk about it. They could be doing this to your child at school, and the people who do, because this is, like they said, it's a behavioral, what do they call it? Behavioral something. This is human experimentation. This is trying to change the behavior of a person, of a child. But they seem to be pushing it as these children are just doing bad shit. Now, that could be true. But when it comes to over-abusing it and overdone with it, when there's no search warrant, there is no basis of doing that. I don't think there's no sense of that. In his correspondence with the Sheriff's Office, the Justice Department said the letter should be withdrawn. On Wednesday, the Pasco Coalition said it was encouraged to see the Justice Department investigating the program. There's a lot more shit going on than what this letter is saying. Targeted individuals know there's a lot more shit. And they understand that whatever is put online is not really the whole truth. The organist said in a statement, we look forward to learning more about the development, the organization said in a statement. So there is actually more to read, but I kind of read most of it. You guys can see it. Pretty much sure proves what we've been researching for the last year. The schools are involved, and this was a proof that the school was involved. This is not only happening, I promise you, a targeted individual said that when they was being here in the Bay Area, on this side of town, a police officer, after she was trying to report what was going on to her, police officer was trying to make her sound and look crazy, but she knew what was going on, and the police officer told her to move. This is one of the things within the other article that I read that I probably posted on Pasco County Sheriff County. The whole goal is to make their life as miserable as possible until they move or sue. So that made me think they're doing the same exact shit in Pasco County, Florida, and they're doing it here in the Bay Area as well. There's still a lot more to read. I don't know if I know I didn't read everything. I left some things out. But this is a 40-minute video, and maybe it shouldn't took me that long. I'll just go back to it and read it later. it is 4:03, Friday, September 10th, 2021. And I'm gonna go.